base umpire. Let's take a look at this next video. Okay, so let's walk this back. It may be really subtle, and again, the video is really grainy. So I'm going to try and help. The umpire gives the count here. It looks like, I don't know, 3 balls, 1 strike, maybe. I don't know. Pretty close, but batter's got his foot in the box. He's getting his sign. That's really good. Pitcher's on the rubber. Pitcher's on the rubber, and now the pitcher is set. Okay, so right here, this is where we need to take a little action of what we're seeing on TV in Major League Baseball and collegiate baseball. The pitcher is set. Our home plate umpire gives him the stop sign. And let me say something about the stop sign first. When you put your hand up as a plate umpire, you are calling time. So right now, the plate umpire actually has called time. So if the runner takes off to third, nothing should be allowed to happen. If the pitcher ends up picking off towards second, nothing is allowed to happen. The hand up as a plate umpire means time. So if we're doing this, we need to remember that that is what we are calling. We are reaching out and we are calling time. Okay, so use that wisely as we are doing. Okay, so the plate umpire realizes something is wrong. Okay, the pitcher has come set before the batter is in the box. Batter now steps in the box and he drops his hand, essentially saying play. Another thing, if your hand is up and you're stopping the play, the time has been called. Play, put it back in play. But if this is you, make sure you put it back in play and we'll be okay with it. But now the batter's in the box and the batter's looking down. He's still looking down. And look, he's still looking down and the pitcher's knee has already begun. This is what we call a quick pitch. Okay? So we need to shut this down and have a reset. Pitcher is set right here. Boom. Just as our plate umpire realizes this, time, step off. And then you communicate. Talk to the catcher. Talk to the pitcher. Make sure the batter's in the box before you come set. And that's just, we're not trying to play gotcha. This is kind of the gentleman part of the game, is we have to have a batter that's in the box and ready before the pitcher can come set. Don't do this thing that you see a lot in Major League Baseball and college and stuff, where they're pointing to the eyes and, pointing to the batter and all this stuff. Don't do that. That's going to look silly. Use your voice. Coach these high school kids, coach these catchers. And really, I think that has to do a lot with your relationship with your catcher. Hey, time. Step off. Hey, make sure my batter's in the box before you come set. Okay? Talk to him. Look at my catcher. Hey, I need you to help me. Don't give him a target until the batter's in the box. That's a good word. Don't give him a target until the batter's in the box. So let's watch how subtle this is one more time before we move on to the next scenario. Pitcher is set. Looking down. Pitcher starts. And then now the batter looks up. So, quick pitch. Shut that down. Call time. Reset, step off the rubber, and have a reset. So let's take a look at this another play. By the way, actually,
hey, Caleb.
Yeah.
That's a balk in that case, right? Since there's runners on.
Where?
That's an illegal pitch with a balk since there's runners on.
With him coming set too soon?
Since there's runners on, right?
No, I'm going to kill it. No, I'm not going to give him a balk for that. I'm just going to shut it down and say step off. Make sure you don't come set. Because what did the pitcher do illegally? That's not a balk.
Yeah.
Okay. Good thought.
Also, can I say this?
Sure.
Step out to the right side of the batter's box and kill it. Don't just stay behind the catcher.
Right here. Can y'all see my little scribble on the screen? That's where you need to go. Get right over there and be really big and just call it and reset.
Yes, thank you.
Scenario. All right, it looks like we have runners at first and third base. We have a left-handed pitcher on the rubber. Let's talk about starting positions. As a base umpire, you can be in B or C. And really it comes down to preference. My preference is I like to be in B position, just as this umpire is in B position. The reason being is a quick pitch, pick off to first base. you have that same look that you're used to, there are very rarely pickoff plays to third base. And even then, pickoff plays to third base typically aren't very close. So being far away and just building your angle is okay. Also, for a throw down to second base, you have taken many, 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 many more plays going into second base from B position than you have from C position. Your angle is totally different. So those are all the reasons why I like to have to be in B position in first and third. Okay, left-handed pitcher. Let's see what happens on this play. Okay, so we have, oops, sorry, went too far. We have lots of things going on in this play. Let's talk about it real fast. So before we begin, we have first and third, and we have a pitcher who is set legally. We have a pitcher who is set legally. He is on the rubber, he picks up his leg, and he steps towards first base. We're good so far, but can you feint a throw to first base? No, you may not. You may not feint a throw to first base. So right here, as soon as he feints a throw to first base, we have to call this a balk. Time. That's a balk. Or that's a balk. Time. Whichever order you've been trained to do it on, I like to call the balk first and then come up and call time. At this time, after you call a balk, you award R3, you award him home. You award R1, second base, and nothing else happens. Are we all in agreement that this is a balk? Okay, there's a lot of other things in this video that I want to make sure that we take time to talk about too. So we're going to look past the balk. Let's pretend that the pitcher stepped off of the rubber legally. Now, can he feint to first base? Yes, he can. He absolutely can. He is a fielder now. So he feints to first base and throws to third base. Oh man, we have a rundown. Okay, let's take a look at our umpires. We have the plate umpire, mask off with his left hand. Great job. We have the batter runner, or excuse me, just the batter, who's now stepping out of the frame. And as a plate umpire, if your batter doesn't move, make him move. Get out of here, batter, move, get out of here, batter. You use your voice, use your mask, use your forearm, something to get him out of here. We're building our angle for this rundown play. We have a legal throw. Catcher's got it. Throwing him back to third base. Pause. Now, I like this second base umpire, whoever it is. I don't know. I don't know who these umpires. I like this second base umpire. As a base umpire, you cannot leave your position and just dive in to this rundown because you have another runner. This other runner is right here advancing towards second base. He's hanging out. He knows where he is, but he can't commit to this whole rundown just yet. So right now, the plate umpire has this whole rundown. We have a throw back into third base. And look here, the catcher, this is really important. The catcher plants and gets out of the way. He does not obstruct the runner in any form or fashion. Now we have the third baseman or whoever it is coming home. Now I have to give props one more time to this base umpire. Y'all, this is stuff that you have to think about. You see a play going on and you cannot run into it because you have another runner that you're responsible for. What happens if they tag him out at home and then they throw to second base? Well, if you committed to this rundown as a base umpire, you're screwed. So you need to make sure that you are hanging tight just as you are, just have a wide angle. And if you need to come in and help with something later, you got a wide angle of a look at that. Okay. So far, I really like this rundown. Okay. So rundown, run. Now he's going to continue on. Okay. Pause it right here. This is where we potentially have a tag. And we have a player who is standing in the middle without the baseball. This is where we have what I call a cluster. Others call it something else, but I just call it a cluster. This player right here may or may not be guilty of obstruction. And from this camera view, it's really hard to tell. So I'm playing connect the dots of where the runner is. Okay, so where he is towards home plate, He's slightly on the grass. There's home plate. So, you know, our line's going to be somewhere right there. Is this fielder in the way of that line? Well, yeah, he kind of is. Okay. But he's backing up out of the way. So look how he kind of slides. He slides with that knee down and like he's dodging around that player. Okay. And this is really tough, guys. Really tough. So as a plate umpire, I would challenge you maybe be a little bit further back so you can have a wider view of this play. Maybe, just maybe, look ups, have a little bit wider peripheral, because I absolutely think that it's plausible that this pitcher is guilty of obstruction. He has no business being there. And I think that he alters the way that this runner dies. Again, this camera angle is terrible. I'm just trying to connect lots of pieces together and give you things to think about. At full speed, I think we have an out. At full speed, where our umpire is, absolutely we have an out on this rundown. But take a wider view. Again, we're always trying to get better. We're always trying to raise our awareness just a little bit more. I think we could have come away with obstruction. And in this scenario, you call that obstruction, and in high school baseball, it's a dead ball immediately. Time. That's obstruction. You score. We call the obstruction and have him score there. Okay. Now, one more aspect of this. What do you do with this R2? Look at him. Has he acquired third base? If you're calling this obstruction, now he doesn't get any base. He goes back to second. Now, if he was at third base and acquired third base prior to the time of obstruction, he'd stay at third base. But because the last base he acquired was second, he would stay at second base. And I'm going to give kudos to whoever this base umpire is one more time. He's staying there, and he's taking 2 more steps down. If there was another play at this runner going into third, he'd be right there on top of it. So whoever this crew is, after you missed the balk call, because we got to get that balk, okay? This rundown was really done very nicely, okay? I'm going to re-rack it and play it one more time before we move on. So remember, this is a balk. I'm on video. I'm on saying this is a balk, but watch what happens after that with the rundown and see what we got. So that's a balk, but here's our rundown. And somebody just yelled in the stands, obstruction and interference at the same time. Oh, when will the parents learn the rules? All right, I got a question in the chat. Carl is correcting me. High school obstruction is not dead. It's always a delayed dead ball. So I'm going to take Carl's credit on this because I know sometimes I get those confused. So that would be true. Okay, so let's get the balk call right, and then maybe a slightly wider angle of the play at the plate. All right.